inversions. First off, if you have a chord progression, let's say 4 chords, maybe 1, 5, 6, 4 on A major scale. So 1 will be A, 5 will be the 5th major, which is E, 6 will be F sharp minor, and then 4 will be D major. So as you can see, it's not very easy to play these chords. First of all, if you have to add a bass note in the left hand, it's not very comfortable, if you ask me, and you'll always have to be glued to the instrument to check probably if you're playing it right or wrong. So using chord inversions, it makes navigating between your chords a lot more easier. It's a bit difficult initially to probably remember where to go, but once you figure it out, it becomes a piece of cake. So let me start off with this same chord progression, A. Now from A, which is the root position, I'm moving to E major this way. Now how am I making this decision? E has one common note with A major, and that common note is the note E. So I keep that position constant, which is the 3rd or the last position, and then play E major in its first inversion. And as you can see, the shifting becomes a lot more easier. I don't even need to look at the keyboard by doing this. I could just play it this way. Normally it will be this, and here it's a bit tricky. You may go wrong, and you wouldn't want to do that, during a concert and stuff like that, or in any high pressure environment. So let's move on. You have A, you have E, and now I'm moving to F sharp minor. Now F sharp minor doesn't share any notes in common with E major, as you know. So my suggestion then, when two chords do not share any notes in common, retain the same inversion. So E major currently is played in its first inversion here. So I retain the same inversion and play F sharp minor in its first inversion. And then from there I move to D major, which, as you know, shares 2 notes in common with the previous chord. It shares an F sharp, which is at the 3rd position, and A which is at the 1st position. So I just have to move this C sharp to D. And there we have it, all the 4 chords neatly arranged right in one hand position. You don't even have to move your hand one bit. So I have A, E, F sharp, D. And you could do this starting from the first inversion of A if you wish. You could go, or from the second inversion. As you can see, wherever you are on the keyboard, it's quite possible to play any chord progression. So that's one of the advantages of chord inversions, which I think will really help your playing. Along with that, by playing inversions in this way, your music becomes very smooth and connected. What I mean by that is, when you're playing in a band, normally the audience's attention should not keep shifting between the vocalist, between the keyboardist, the drummer, and so on. So when you play chords in a very smooth and systematic way, the audience will tend to focus on the most catchy part of the song, which is usually going to be your melody line, which the vocalist is going to be doing. And the point of playing chords, I guess, is to stay in the background, give the song its emotion, and lay the foundation for the song, not to be in the limelight of the song. So that way, using chord inversions makes it a lot more smoother. The other reason why I think chord inversions are very useful is something which I call voicing. So with voicing, if you take a chord, let's say D major, which I am playing now in its second inversion, the way I look at this chord now, I could look at it a bit differently. I need not look at this as a chord anymore. I could look at this top note as a melody line. I could look at this as a harmony for that melody and look at this as another additional harmony for that melody. So in classical music, we call this the soprano. That's the leading note or the melody. Below the soprano, which is normally a lower third or a nearest perfect interval, is called the alto. And then you have the tenor. So even though I'm playing a simple D major chord, I'm imagining it a bit differently. And this is the concept of voicing. And this allows you to play melody and harmony at the same time on the instrument. And again, gives you a lot more options as a composer. So if I'm playing, let's say, a simple melody, something like that, you could keep the same melody going and then add some harmony to it. Bring in the left hand. So that's how I use it for voicing. I will be giving you a couple of exercises to help develop that. And finally, the last advantage which I wanted to talk about for chord inversions is something which we know as slash chords. So a slash chord is basically a chord like D major with a non-root note as its bass. So if I take D major and play an F sharp bass, it sounds quite different. It doesn't sound as resolved and peaceful as the normal D major. It sounds like it now wants to go somewhere to a new resolved kind of chord. So this is a nice thing to do while playing music. You could alter between your root bass notes and different bass notes, which are what we call slash chords. So you can get some interesting sounds. Right. So hope you guys found that lesson useful. Catch you in the next tutorial where we are going to discuss some exercises on how you could improve your skills on chord inversion.